This event took place within the world of Kylorne on the Stoneworks Minecraft server. From the peaks of the Citadel of Stars, to the village of Silverwater, to even the toad slums of Bogart, the lords and regents of Riverreach are given notice that Argon Archian, Volarch of the Tiverdom of Riverreach, will be returning from his hunt in the Heimbjar Grange. Having expressed the want to reconvene with local powers of the central continent, Argon writes of a desire to hold a banquet over a river tourney, as a nod to his rise to fame as the river washed, from a similar opportunity. Having been asked to arrange this venue, two ministers, the Vardian Minister of Tribute Slum and Chu and the Vardian Minister of Ale Mird and Silverwater, sent off messages inviting the nations of Hyljaheim, Leanntir, city-state of Mora, White Orchid, Weathervane, and the far-flung nation of Elysium. The nations were wagered the following: to send a champion of their nation to spar, to organize a diplomatic gift welcoming Argon's return, and to bring an envoy party of 3 to dine at Argon's table. In return, a river boon would be organized to the victor, one source with Riverreach artifacts and wagered bets of the fighters. So news would spread to come to the hallowed grounds of Conrad's passing to admire fighters and honor Argon's return. The tourney was set on an old Riverreach battlefield. Here, Sir Conrad died a glorious death with 50 of his men to pin the encampment of an army 12 times the size from advancing into the river nexus town. So bloody the conflict that the very blood that seeped into the ground left a copper tinge on the fauna, resulting in orange tulips that sprout in memory of this conflict. Only Sir Conrad's grave kept a blue hue, a sign that his spirit remains on these hallowed grounds. Now the Reachian knights conduct combative spars under the watchful gaze of their ancestors. This ground would be perfect spot for a river tourney. The Vardian of Ale Mirden would set off to brew fine wine for the nobles and wheat beer for the common folk. Slum and Chu would arrange Argon's table where the envoys would be seated. Many exotic goods would be acquired: White Orchard ice that the riverfolk rarely see, crystals from the castle dogwood, and many specialties of the Reach. Off to the side he would place a small market square with the help of Basil Regal Kragax, showing off the riverfolk culture. From market stalls to banners to the thespian play of River and Anvil, a tale of Dwarven clan Bitterhelm and Argon Archian standing up to the celestial ploy to curse the toad slums. With the ground set, the festival began. Many foreigners came. The isolated queen of Mejakepai would make the first public appearance. Travelers from foreign continents like the Gelt would arrive as well. Many riverfolk, dwarves, and other regional locals arrived for the festivities. And with the common folk settled, Argon bid to the slummen to begin the duels. 7 took to the stage: Jarl Stonehelm, the dwarf favoring a Dane axe; Visfriche, human dwarf champion with the squire's blade; Avina representing none with a hatchet; Lorthalion of Leanntir chose a rapier; Jonathan of Elysium holding an elven saber; and the pair of riverfolk, Menda and Kubel, sharing a longsword. Our first fight would be Jarl versus Avina. Jarl proved superior through utilizing reach. Next would be Thalion and Jonathan. Jonathan triumphing through a flurry of slashes. Minda versus Visfriche. Just when Viz was about to win, the duel ended in controversy as a potion was thrown her way. She would ultimately be determined the winner. Kubel versus Jarl. Kubel took to dodging too much and was cornered. Only 3 would rise from the pit with distinguishable skill. The dwarf, Jarn of Stonehelm, through stalwart strength, would sweep his opponents with his axe and blade. The Elysium noble Jonathan, holding his saber, would violently pursue his opponents, leaving no ground for respite. And the human from the dwarven lands Visfriche, holding a humble squire blade, would through superior skill defeat her opponents. These 3 would face off in a duel to decide the victor. First would be Jarn versus Jonathan. Jonathan would then take the victory. The final duel would come down to Visfriche of Hyljaheim and Jonathan of Elysium. In a close battle, Jonathan of Elysium is the victor. With the victor declared, the festive would begin to quiet. Many new acquaintances were met, and many stories learnt, so Argon would be content, giving praise to Slum and Chew.